And finally, gospel thinking must change the way you look at God. It must change the way you look at yourself. And, of course, it must change the way you look at others, your neighbors. So write this down. The gospel will help us learn to see others through Christ's eyes, to see others through Christ's eyes, and to learn to love them as He does. To learn to love them as He does. 2 Corinthians 5 says, "For the love of Christ controls us." But because we've concluded this, that one has died for all. By faith, I've decided this, Paul says. One has died for all. So from now on, we look at no one according to the flesh. Paul says, I'm not going to look at any other person according to the world anymore. When I look at somebody else, I'm going to see something totally different, and it's because Jesus died for them. Gospel thinking is saying to yourself that, because Jesus died for me, here's now how I must look at other people. Here's how I must treat other people. I'm not better than they are. Am I better than anybody else? Are you better than anybody else? No, the cross proves that a lie. We're all on a level playing field. We're all lost sinners that need the grace of God. Jesus died for you the same way He died for me. So if He forgave me my great sins, which are beyond calculation, there are so many, and if He forgave me that heavy weight of moral debt that I owe Him, how could I possibly not forgive you? And not give grace to you? And not see you as a beloved image bearer of God, however messed up you be? Someone said once, envy is the art of counting other fellows' blessings instead of your own. The idea here, what we're talking about, is we're not saying that you just take your eyes off of your neighbor to be free of envy. You can't do that. Our neighbors are all around us. I don't see you. I don't see you. And we're surrounded by one another. We need each other. Our neighbor is in front of us, beside us, all around us. Can't help but look. The path to freedom, what we're saying here, what Paul said in Corinthians, is we change how we look at them. And we look at them through the cross, doing gospel thinking. The path to freedom is changing that. And the gospel teaches me how to do that. So what are some things that means? It means if my neighbor succeeds, if something good happens to him, you know what I can do with all legitimacy? I can say, that's amazing. Good for you. We can rejoice with those who rejoice. Applaud their success and mean it. Meanwhile, if their life crashes and burns and trouble comes, gospel thinking tells me that I need to help them bear their burdens. Because again, but for the grace of God go I, and it could be my turn next. Gospel thinking will teach me how to be a reckless forgiver, because God has forgiven me all my sins. How can I not forgive them? Gospel thinking will teach me to be a lavish giver, for God has lavished so much generosity on me. The gospel changes everything. And it is the gospel that will help us overcome envy and every other deadly sin that would enslave me and make my life a ruin. So the question is, as we close, do you believe this? Do you believe the gospel? Do you believe in Jesus Christ? For God so loved the world. Say it with me. He gave His only Son, that whoever believes in Him will not perish, but have everlasting life. So believe in Him, cry out to Him, seek Him, serve Him, share Him, follow Him every day from this point on. And your life and your family and this church will not be the same again if we do that.